Versus, and I am at the Barnesboro Legion here in Northern Cambria, PA. And today I'm talking to Farge, right? Awesome. Can I get you guys' names?
My name's Ethan Keener.
Damian Searle.
Mason Davis.
Okay, awesome. How did you come up with the band name? Who do I talk to for it?
Yeah. Okay, so most of the time we've kept this kind of like a secret. It's kind of been like a band sort of classified information. Okay. But honestly,
it's a good opportunity to tell it.
Yeah. The name came from, it was silly. One of my old friends misspelled the word large with an F. And as a joke, I was like, because it was whenever I just started getting into music, I was like, oh, I'm going to name a band that. And then like I totally went with it. So we actually called it Farge because one, it stands out and it's different than, I feel like it's recognizable, I guess. It's like, it's different and it's new. And so I think that's kind of why we went with it.
That's good. I just interviewed a band called Disfigure. Now they were like, they already had a band called Disfigure. So all we did was change the first I with a Y. And that was it. But still, they said they came up with that name at a strip joint. All right. Individually, how long have you been making music?
I've been playing like drums and stuff since like 4th grade, but I haven't really been playing set for really that long. It was like about like a year and a half, but I haven't really like made a song or anything until I met Damien, or like we started getting into that. So probably, I don't know how long that would be, like what year and a half too. Okay. And that's really where
it's still a good start with where you guys are going and how you're going about it. That's a good start for a year and a half in. That's great.
I started writing music. I got into guitar, I think, my 8th grade year. So that's like 6 years ago. I got into guitar around my 8th grade year. And then as I started getting better, I was like, you know what? I want to write stuff. So I think I started writing and like composing actual stuff probably 2021 era, okay. I feel. And then the first EP that released was in 2023. So that's kind of whenever Farge like actually got out into the world, was 2023.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I was super like kind of like rhythmly, like I guess like in tune like with myself at a young age. Like my dad, he says that he would hear me like humming the tunes in the car or like patting on my lap whenever I was like a toddler. But other than that, I started playing in my school band when I was in like 3rd grade, and I played the sax, and for a while it was really fun. I kind of started to grow out of it, and I started to think it was kind of lame, which was one of the biggest regrets of my life. I really wish I would have stuck with it. But I picked up the guitar in probably 8th grade, and I've been playing guitar. I learned drums, and I can really just play most things that I pick up. I can kind of just come naturally and figure them out.
All right. Awesome. What bands growing up influenced the way you make music?
Oh boy. You know, it's weird because when I was younger, or like in my teen years, I guess I listened to a lot of like rap or like modern like hip hop and stuff. So I never really like was one or cared for like the drums and part of a song. Like I never really cared about it. Actually, my dad and my brother would play like 9 Inch Nails, and they played all that stuff, and I'd be like, this is actually garbage. And then I'd be like, shut this off.
But yeah, it's because a lot of the influences of most of the bands I've been interviewing, they're like 9 Inch Nails, Disturbed. You're gonna piss people off.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like, yeah, for a while it was I just didn't really like or vibe with the actual like metal and rock and stuff like that. So I really can't say who inspired or influenced. I just kind of picked the sticks up and let it come naturally.
All right,
I feel
good.
I feel like the band Toll was like really huge on me just because they're very intricate bands, and that was like inspiring to me. But I don't want to like sound like them because I don't think anyone can really recreate Toll. Like they kind of have their own sound, and that's what really inspired me, because I wanted to have my own sound based off of that. So I was like, Tool sounds like Tool. If you listen to a Tool song, it's very distinguishable, and that's kind of what I wanted to go off of. Is I wanted to be an individual instead of like sound like a bunch of other different people. Mm-hmm. I wanted to sound like my own thing. So I feel like growing up, and whenever I first started, it's like Tool and Nirvana, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's what inspired me.
Gotcha. Awesome.
From a young age, my dad would always play Thrice in the car, and I love Thrice, and I've been getting into them a lot more recently. But I would say they're a huge influence as to why I picked up the guitar. That Van Halen, I really like the guitar work in Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Alice in Chains. Those bands really drove me to become the musician I am today, and I'm really grateful that their music exists and it was able to move me in a way that changed the course of my life. Really. Yeah.
Good, deep, great. All right. We'll be quick with this one. One interesting fact about you.
One interesting fact
Just
about
one.
me.
You don't sound interesting, right?
So I mean, it's not really interesting. It's just one day, I became like hyper fixated on like learning how to do a backflip. Like one day during quarantine, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a backflip.
Did you do it?
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting fact. But yeah,
His heart was in it, though.
it was there in the time. It was there.
I can hacky sack. That's something that most people can't do.
That is impressive. I'm
I
not
can-
coordinated enough for that.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, I was like, I saw people playing hacky sack, and I was like, that's cool. I'm gonna do that someday. And then I got one, and then I just played in my like kitchen for months, and then until like I figured out how to do it. So I guess that's an interesting fact. I can play hacky sack.
That's good. That's impressive. No, a very short list of people can do that, so that's good.
There's a few I could think of. Computer programming and code, usually in C++. I know how to write somewhat. I've done a few different things with that, but that's like I feel like the most interesting that I can think of like off my head.
Even that's difficult. So still, very good traits minus backflip guy. All right. Funniest and or coolest thing that has happened during any of your concerts?
Funniest or coolest?
Oh, there's a lot of things. I was
What? I don't know. Like I feel like a lot of things happen, and like either during practice or during shows. Like I know that sometimes I like smash a cymbal and the stand will just completely like detonate, and like we'll have to like get that fixed. But other than that, it's just like little stuff like that can get a chuckle out. Really.
Good, funny.
we played this, believe it or not, it was like an arcade, and we had this very small stage, and we like to be really energetic. And at one point during like a more kind of powerful part of a song, yeah, Mason like smacked a cymbal, and then it like came on top of like my microphone stand, and it started flipping all over the place. And like it was that, I feel like that's kind of the funniest moment for me, just because I remember it was a really loud, aggressive part of a song, and then like, yeah, Mason like swung his stick at the cymbal, and then he threw it down onto the crowd, and it was pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
So there's actually two that can come to mind, and they're a little bit more recent. Well, the first one's with the first show I played with these guys. They brought me up on stage, and we started playing the first song, and the first note I hit, my strap came undone, and we had to restart, and that was like super embarrassing, but it was funny. And then also we had a show down at the courts down there, like the basketball courts, and we were going to start Winter, which we played tonight, and he was in the complete wrong tuning, and I may or may not have been laughing to myself. But yeah, that's all I can think of.
Okay, good. Just so you know, still early on in your career, whenever you make mistakes, especially in front of everyone, be confident about the mistakes. Play it off like a joke. Sorry, guys, my equipment's busted. Give me a sec. You want to do it funny, or else, yeah, you're gonna overthink it. And you're like, shit, that was annoying. All right. One hobby that is not music related.
One hobby that's not music related. I like to write a lot. I like to write and draw. It's just kind of like an outlet, I guess. Like, so like if I had a bad practice or if I had a bad day, just like writing or just writing anything in general. Really, when the pencil hits the paper, it's a good feeling.
It is. Good. Good.
I can agree. I do watercolor a little bit. So that's something that I recently got into is watercolor painting, and I feel that that's also a really good outlet, because it's like there's not really any rules to watercoloring. You just have a piece of paper and multiple colors that you can kind of do whatever you want with. That's very freeing, because there's no guidelines. There's not like any pressure. I could just do what I want and make stuff, and that's pretty cool. So I would say watercoloring.
Awesome.
I've been writing, really. I really like poetry, especially because it's just like a free form for me to just kind of like express myself and maybe in like intricate or like mysterious ways. I also really like photography, and that's, yeah, those are just really good outlets and just stuff I really enjoy doing, other than music, of course, which is like the big thing.
They're all really good hobbies. And it's like the people you expect the least to be writing. Writing is a really deep take, too. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of creativity. So it's very nice to have. All right. And we're going to close it out real quick. So I got one more question for you guys. And I love this one because I always get different answers. Advice for future musicians.
Advice for future musicians. Whatever you're gonna do it scared. You're never going to go into something and be completely like ready to do it. If you're scared, that means you care, and you just gotta tackle it head first, I guess.
Okay. Good.
Play every show like you're playing a stadium, because even if you suck and even if it's your first show, dream as if you guys were, dream as if you were playing with professional musicians, dream that you're playing with for a huge crowd that knows your stuff. Like, play your heart out at every show, because even if you guys do suck, it doesn't matter, because your heart is in it. And whenever your heart's in it, that means that you can grow, that you can become better. And it's more inspirational being on stage when you think that you're doing really good, even if you may not be. But playing every show with all you've got, I'd say is my advice.
Good.
I would say don't ever give up. Don't ever let somebody tell you that your music isn't good enough or they don't like it. You got to find the people that like your music. If they don't like it, don't get hung up on it. Don't let them ruin your dreams. Follow your dreams. Don't let them slip away. The more you think like, oh, I need to change this, I need to change that, like, just be yourself. Music's about expression, not about negativity and just judgment. And, love other musicians, love yourself, love music, and don't ever give up. Don't let someone convince you that you're not worth anything, because you definitely are.
Okay. Solid advice from all three of you guys. Well, it's been great talking to you guys. This has been N8VS, and this has been Farge. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next time.